Let's move on to Nintendo. There was some breaking rumors right before we started the show. Darkness in the chat hooked us up. There's a Bloomberg report about a new Switch model. This is the rumored Pro Switch. It's rumored to have an OLED screen and 4K graphics when docked. So the portable, I think, is still going to be like 720p. And it's also going to have a smaller bezel, and it's rumored to come out this year. So, does this? I can understand a new system. I wouldn't think that they would make a super high definition portable screen, because that doesn't make any sense. But I could see a 720p screen and like 4K graphics for the TV.
Okay, so here are the two big questions on this.
Right.
Would a console like this, would this be would there be profit in this console? The way that it's spec'd out by Bloomberg, how much would they have to sell it for? And would it
4K graphics doesn't mean that's just a resolution, right? It doesn't mean that the games are going to look like Gears of War 5, you know?
That's fine. I mean, it's not going to play something. It's going to play the same games that the other Switch has. They're not going they're not going to slice up their market like that.
Right.
Are they going to release something that costs $700?
No.
Nintendo never sells a console that doesn't make a profit, right? Isn't that like a Nintendo thing? That they always try to get profit out of their consoles, as opposed to Sony and Microsoft that take a loss on theirs? Or am I making that up? I feel like
no, that's correct.
True. Yeah, I knew that was true at one time. I think sometimes they launch at a slight loss and then go from there. But
okay, but so let's assume the Switch is sold at a profit. Why would you release a console that's going to be significantly more expensive to make when your current console is still selling out as soon as it hits the shelves and will have most likely a smaller profit margin? That's my question. Can you answer that? I guess my big question is, why do this? What's the gain here?
They get all the people who already own a Switch to buy a new $400 model, while they take the existing Switch and have a newer version of that they can make cheaper, and that can be like $250. Maybe they could put out. Well, they already have. They have a $200 version.
They have the $200 Switch Lite, which
yeah.
is the. I mean, that's the one that's selling like hotcakes, right?
Right.
That's. I mean, the other one sells too, but I'm sure that the Switch Lite is selling in much higher quantities than the $299 Switch. I think. Are they at the point where they need to sell everybody new Switches?
No.
Have we hit that yet?
Well,
I think so. And wouldn't they sell? Don't they just sell more Switches by just putting a Legend of Zelda sticker on it? We talked about that last week.
They do to an extent, but not like a complete redesign would give them.
They do both though. They'll totally do both. They'll put out a new redesign, and then they'll put a Zelda version of the old one out.
This upgrade is not that big of an upgrade. So I can kind of believe it.
They just be like upscaling their graphics to 4K, right?
So yeah, I guess the question is, then who is this for?
It's for people who want to go buy another Switch, right?
So this is a second Switch. This isn't a starter Switch.
No, this is a Switch for the people who, like me, bought it on day one, and that day one version is not so great anymore. Like it gets super hot. Your joysticks are not staying where they should. Although I do not have drift on mine.
I don't know either, and I think mine's like a launch one too.
You don't play yours much though.
No, I don't. It gets a lot of Animal Crossing love though. Let me tell you.
So there's a market for it. The thing that I'm shocked about is that time frame. If they're going to get all these components by June, and I don't know how recent where they got their info from, computer parts and silica and all of the just little components for electronics are incredibly short supply right now. So to try to launch a new version of something in June, or start at least releasing that design to factories to start making in June, is a pretty big endeavor currently. So I would not expect them to launch in any kind of mass production until later this year at the earliest.
Right. So what does that mean? It'll be on store shelves.
I would say October, September, sometime.
Huh.
Maybe.
If they're lucky.
If they're lucky, and it'll be in extremely limited quantities.
Perfect.
I mean, there's a reason like you can't find PS5s and Xboxes, right? It's not because they're like holding them back. It's because the materials to make them are extremely limited right now. And it's going to be the same. You find one thing in that Switch that they can't find for those LED screens or whatever processors they're using, and it delays the whole thing.
All right. What else we got here? Apex Legends is coming out on Switch also.
Congrats.
That concludes our Switch news.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
When was the last time you played that?
I had to hide it from Ty, so it's just hidden.
I meant Apex, not the Switch.
Oh, Apex? I don't play Apex anymore. I just play Warzone. I don't want to have to know what all the characters can do and which character is good against other characters, and I don't know. It's fine, but I like Warzone better.
It's no Fortnite.
Exactly. That's why I like it better. Let's go to the CAG bag. I think it's time. It's getting late.
All right, hook it up.
At Joe Co writes in and says, since I'm buying both consoles, I'm looking at the Xbox Series X for the value.
Series S.
Thank you. Xbox Series S for the value. Do you think I'll regret it?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Shipwreck.
This is someone buying both consoles. I think they're going to, clearly this is a man of means. He's going to want the best of everything.
The guy at the bagel store told me he bought a PlayStation 5 and he was buying the Series X also. And he told me he was really excited about it.
The S or the X?
The S.
Okay. You don't know how to say S.
I said S. I said S. Now you're making me angry. My voice is cracking.
Do you have cess with your wife or X with your wife?
Neither. Both. I mean, both. I think I hear good things about the Series S. I haven't heard anybody, but then again, there's
nothing pushing the X yet, right? So
right.
that's why eventually you're going to regret getting the Series S, most likely.
Yeah, it's not the same power, right? The S is a not as powerful console as the X.
I would just wait. I would get nothing now. You're not really missing anything.
I don't know. I like my Xbox Series X. I use it every day.
It's okay.
It's worth it to me for those load times.
The load times.
It's so sad, but it's a good argument.
The load times.
Yeah.
I mean, we play on two different Xboxes, right? We have one up in the living room that is the old Xbox One Pro, and our Series X down here, and it is painful for some of the games that Dashel plays because a lot of those like Lego games take forever to get to a screen where you can select something. Like it's just loading screen after loading screen. And so it's to the point like, yeah, when these become readily available, I'm going to buy another Series X for that TV up there.
I mean, Madden is another one. Madden, the load times on the old console were ridiculous. When that game came out, I tried the demo, the 10-hour demo with my EA access. I wanted to check out what's new in Madden. And I didn't play very much of it because the load times were just excruciating. And it came out this week on Game Pass, so I downloaded it, played it, and it's just like bing, bang, boom, I'm in a game.
Big bang,
I got
boom.
my weird ass Jets team that has Dan Marino as the quarterback.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Warren Sapp on the Jets. Why not?
Another CAGbag question from @IamNotATwit. Should I buy a new graphics card or an Xbox console with Game Pass at this moment? Because holy shack foo, the 3060 is over $500. But just like we said above, though, there's no software to drive these new systems at this point.
No,
Unless you haven't played a Spider-Man game before. And then you can still play that on PlayStation 4. It's tough. It's a tough sell right now if the money's tight. And
I don't know. By the time he gets a new Xbox console, maybe there'll be something out for it because it's not like they're so readily available.
Right.
As Prick already said.
It's a good point.
But then
Just
again,
camp out now. Start camping out now.
I just don't like this question. Tell me what I should do to make myself happy. I don't know. Make yourself happy.
Buying these things it's not going to make you happy.
Buy a
The
woman.
3060, that's the lower end of the high end, right?
Yes.
And that's over $500 right now?
Yes.
Stick with the Xbox. At least you know you're getting the best of that. I don't know.
$500 for the 3060 seems like a lot. What did that come out at?
I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate. I've not fact checked this, but could be true.